Hello and welcome to Weekend Investing Daily Bites. We are shooting episode 113, 13th of October. We are going to cover this topic. Should you worry about investing now? The markets are a bit heady and getting a bit overbought, but an all-time high is no reason to panic or to be fearful of the markets. In fact, all-time highs are high probability events that the momentum will keep going on, and at some point of time, based on certain some external or internal trigger, we may get some sell off at some point of time. But just because the markets are at a new high is no reason to not invest or to panic or to get out of the market, so on and so forth. Let's first take a look at what happened in the market today. Okay, so the auto sector was the primary uh, gainer in today's markets. Tata Motors was up like 20%. Mahindra was up. Metal stocks were seen to start their new leg again. So Steel Authority, Tata Steel, JSW, everything was up. Power stocks, Tata Power and many other power stocks were totally bullish and going great guns. Consumption stocks, infra stocks, even IT stocks were up today. The only area where some softness was seen was real estate, and bank nifty did not perform as well as one was expecting, but PSU banks within that did quite all right. uh, so all in all, a good week, especially on the auto front, almost 12% in the last 1 week, followed by PSU banks and real estate stocks. In terms of weekend investing performances, NNF 10, ATH, CNX 200, ATH2, all cap, MI 30, MI 20, everything clock percent or almost 1.75%. MI 35 was a bit soft today at 0.08%. Small caps gave up most of the gains of the day by the afternoon and closed at 0.2%, 0.28% up. They were up more than 1% at one point of time. But Nifty was seen to be closing at 0.9% up, and all other broader indices were also up nicely. In the last 5 trading sessions, we've done some really good work on the indices, and some of the strategies have also done quite well. Okay. So, the topic of the day is, should we be worried about uh, the level of the market? Should we stop our SIPs? Should we take money out? Should one be worried about the current setup? So I wanted to show you, historical perspective on uh, what has happened in the past so many bull runs, or the peaks and troughs, and how has the experience been so far. So we keep hearing stories about, what if we entered during the lows of 2009 or 2015, or after the IT run in 2000, and if you had entered at the lows, you would be making a lot of money. But we also want to examine the case, what if you started or entered at the highs, and see where we have reached in the next many years. So let's start with the lows. So this is a chart of the Nifty performing from 2009 bottom, and you can see here that it has gone up 6.5 times since 2009 bottom. This is index 200. So if we were to have invested lump sum at the absolute bottom of the market in 2009 February, then over time our CAGR since then would have stabilized somewhere in this 15% region. We would have seen several drawdowns of 25, 30, even 29% here. But over these 12 years, you would have really done well with very stable sort of CAGR over this period. But we are talking about a hypothetical case of you getting in with the lump sum at the exact bottom of the market. So CAGR in that period is 15.92%. Now let's compare it with an SIP that you had started from that day at the bottom, and you contributed 10,000 rupees onto the Nifty index since then. Till date, you would have amassed 37.79 lakhs, and the XIRR on this would have been 13.47%. So still lower than obviously the bulk investment at the bottom, but not so bad compared to the CAGR of the lump sum. So the SIP over this 12-year period has contributed to a pretty healthy XIRR, and this is basically also pre-dividend. So you can add a good percent and a half on that. Another case study where market hits a low somewhere in January, February 2016. This was post the demonetization, and then from there on it is up 2.5 times. Had you invested a lump sum in 2016, again it would have in the first few years gone down from 25 down to 5% on that March 2020 fall, but again stabilized at somewhere near 15, 17, 18%. You would have seen a drawdown of again 29.3% here. So even in this 5.5 year period, your CAGR for a lump sum would have been at 18.12%. Now, had you started with one SIP and you started sipping from that point where in the case study we did a lump sum and sipped 10,000 rupees every month, you would have amassed 11.54 lakhs with the XIRR of 18.58%. This is very important that even in a short period like 5.5 years, your SIP has beaten the lump sum investment done at the recent bottom. So this is the power of SIP that I wanted to show you. But of course, these are all hypothetical cases where we are assuming that we have been able to start at the bottom. So now I want to investigate what happens if we start on the peaks. Everybody is happy to see great numbers when we start from the bottom, but we need to be practical, and let's say that today is the new peak of Nifty at 18,200 or whatever it is, and let's say for the next many years we will go into a drawdown, and if we start today, then what is the situation? Or if we have been investing so far, should we continue investing? So first case, we see that what happens if we entered on the the peak, near the peak January 2008, and we went down from 100 to 47, and and then it would have gone to almost 300, so 3 times over these 12-13 years. But if you had put a lump sum here, you would have seen pain for 5-6 years, because it would have come into green only after 2014. So as you can see here, if you did the lump sum, the first few years the CAGR would have been heavily negative, and then only after 2014 it would have recovered to positive territory, and then gradually it would have come to 8% by now. So after 12-13 years you would have had a CAGR of 8% had you done a lump sum investment at the peak of the previous big bull run, and you would have seen drawdowns of 25, 20, 29% meanwhile. Now the same thing we want to compare with what happens if you had started with a SIP at the peak of 2008. So you started investing 10,000 every month, and you've amassed 44 lakhs by now, and just look at the XIRR on this SIP. It is 13% versus CAGR of 8.06 on the lump sum. So the SIP, even if you started at the worst point in the market in the last 13 years, you would have still gotten a XIRR of Nifty on Nifty at 13%, 13.12%. Another case study where we had a peak near 2015 Feb, where we had this demonetization downtrend, and then the market picked up after that. If you had income and invested here right at the peak in 2015, again it would have been in drawdown for a couple of years, and then your CAGR would have come into the green, and even by now you would have got only 11% in terms of the CAGR on the lump sum in almost 6 years, 6.5 years actually. And had you started with the SIP on that day in February 2015 and did a 10,000 rupee per month SIP, you would have amassed 14.17 lakhs with an XIRR of 16.9%. So again, you can see that despite starting from the peak, over time the SIP is able to dramatically beat the lump sum investments at the peaks. So just summing up these two observations is that when we start at the lows, in 2009 we got a XIRR on the SIP at 13.4% versus 15.92%, and it is understandable if you have a hypothetical case of doing a lump sum investment at the bottom of the market, that should do well than the XIRR. However, in February 2016 it is not the case, where the lump sum investment has yielded only 18.12% and the XIRR is 18.58% on the SIP. So the SIP really has done very, very well in the last 5.5 years, possibly because of the lower average you would have been able to get in the March 2020 fall also. From the peaks, you can see very, very clearly that even if you started at the peaks, the SIP and the cumulative returns here, I think this figure is wrong. Let me just go and check again. Yeah, so we got a 8.06% here. So this should have been 8.06%, and XIRR is 13.12%. Whereas in February 15th peak, we got a SIP XIRR at 16.9 versus lump sum of 11.1. So what does this tell us? It tells us that when you are near a peak, and if you are starting out your investment journey, it is probably the best time, one of the best times to do that, and don't worry about the markets as much. But if you are already invested, then you can see that even if by continuing the SIPs for a longer term, you are not adversely impacted. The key question here is to not see the markets for a short term view. If you have a goal which is coming up in the next 1, 2, 3, 4 years, then of course it may not be totally wise to keep pumping into the market, because markets are a longer term game. You never know how long a drawdown we can get once we get that. But the past experience tells us that once you go past 5, 6, 7 years of a runway, then definitely the returns are really, really good. So I'll just also show you the rolling returns on the CAGR since December 95. You can see that as we go from a window of 1 year to 3 years to 5 years to 7 years, you can see that the average rolling returns here is continuously improving as we move from left to right in this chart. On a 10-year basis, so almost you could have started any point of time and you would have got a double digit or a high double digit return here. And on 15 years, of course, everything becomes extremely, extremely good. So even anything above 7 years, you can see that all rolling returns have become extremely positive, and most of it is in double digits. And now if we compare it with the SIP, and I've taken a sample of 7 year. So if you are doing a 7-year CAGR versus of a lump sum versus a 7-year XIRR for a SIP, you can see that as you go along on these different years, there are very, very healthy gains on the XIRR also for the SIP. Of course, here after 2008, in 7 years, you did not make so much of good returns as compared also in CAGR as well. But as you give more and more time to it, like in the last 7-8 years, if you see, then we have achieved a XIRR of 12%, which is equivalent to a lump sum XIRR of a CAGR of 12% also. So the average return over this entire period of study on a CAGR basis was 13%, whereas on XIRR basis it was 14%. And so that becomes, the crux of the matter is that if you are a longer term investor, do not worry about the market levels as much. What you should worry about is that you should not be, you should be able to continue your SIPs despite what the market throws at you if you have that kind of a runway. And you should be invested in a strategy which takes care of itself. So like index is a strategy which is a self healing instrument. So if index components start to go down, they throw them out of the index and bring new ones in, just like a momentum strategy does. So in momentum strategies also, in all our strategies, we will throw out the weakness as and when it comes and stay with the strength in the market, and that is why we are able to beat the benchmark returns over time. So I hope you are able to get the message from this video, and you liked the video, and I'll see you in another video. Thanks, bye.